Here it goes. Yeah. Let him hear you, folks. Let him hear you.
Come join us as we take you on a trip from the practice pen to the show arena and let you listen in as top trainers prepare their students to compete in the Western industry's most exciting equine sport. And you'll learn what it takes to become a top weekend cutter.
Just relax, Robert.
Very good, Chase. Keep pushing on that horn, bud.
Outside leg just a little. There you go. Stay up. Back up. Stay up. There you go. Good. Don't lean. There you go.
People from all walks of life can find a place in our sport. The rural American lifestyle. It's how we work, and it's how we play. It's how we learn and how we enjoy the finer things in life. How we take care of our animals and tend to the land. It's a way of life. Has been for hundreds of years. Now there's a whole new way for rural America to watch TV.
I'm Dr. Glenn Blodgett from the Four Sixes Ranch here in Guthrie, Texas, and I highly recommend Alfalfa Cubes from Manzanola, Colorado. The thing I can tell you about this Top of the Rockies cube is it's the most consistent form of alfalfa I've ever been able to purchase. We feed this in the pasture on the ground some, we feed it in the lots. It really does meet all the nutritional needs. I couldn't recommend any hay source any higher than I can this Top of the Rockies cube.
Hey folks, welcome to the show this week. I'm Kenny Emai, your host. Everybody knows this show's all about cutting and competing on cutting horses. The ideal situation, and when you want to get into this sport, is to get with a trainer. Find somebody that you click very well with and go to the shows. And after you've done this for quite a while and you've traveled with your trainer for a year or two and become more of a non-pro than an amateur, there's going to be some times where you have to, get to a cutting by yourself. Maybe you and your trainer are working in two different parts of the country. And as an amateur that's kind of getting into this, when you show up at a cutting without your trainer possibly, it may be a little overwhelming what all you need to do to get ready to show. This week's episode is brought to you by Farm and Ranch TV, and hopefully you can get a little insight on what you need to do if you ever do have to get to a cutting without your trainer, without some help, and get along. Now, Farm and Ranch TV is on Roku streaming television. It's a number of different programs, 27, 28 shows now, plus some other channels. Anything from outdoors to Western lifestyle to agriculture and equine. You can find this show, Cuttin Up, there as extended versions where on TVG2, Dish Network, you're going to see 28-minute versions. That same episode or this episode could be an hour or so long over on Farm and Ranch TV. So go check it out when you get a chance. It's a lot of great programming. A lot of folks can bring a lot of insight to your world about the Western lifestyle, rural, outdoors, and agriculture. Go to www.farmandranch.tv. Now let's go to a cutting in Hamilton, Texas. I wanted to show everybody what it was kind of necessary if you have to go to a cutting by yourself without any help and be able to get along. Hey folks, here we are in Hamilton, Texas at the Circle T Arena. We want to kind of let you know about what you need to be thinking about when you're getting ready to show your cutting horse. In the amateur world, most of us, we hope that you all would find a trainer to kind of help you out, but there's going to be at some point where you're going to have to go to a cutting possibly without your trainer. Maybe scheduling differences has got you going one direction and your trainer with some other clients going another. So you're gonna have to learn how to fend for yourself and go to a cutting. Here's what you do. When you get to the facility, first thing you do is you find out where you're gonna stall your horse. You get with the stall office, get some shavings, get your horse taken care of. Remember to take your coggins and your horse papers with you. The coggins is for the facility. The horse papers is gonna be for the show secretary. She's gotta be able to put that in her computer system to record you and your horse's earnings. Next thing you're gonna do is have an idea what class you're gonna show in. And you'll find a show schedule here in Hamilton. They've got a table set up. So you're gonna find the show schedule and find out where your class is gonna be. Let's say you're gonna be showing in the 50,000 amateur class. You're gonna find that on the show schedule. Right here it is after the 25,000 novice non-pro class and before the 5,000 novice class. So that kind of gives you an idea of what time of the day you're gonna need to start getting your horse ready. In this case, this is a huge show. Had like 3 sets of open this morning, then it's gonna have 3 sets of non-pro. So the 50,000 amateur class is gonna be quite a bit later in the day, I'm afraid. When you start thinking about getting your horse ready, you know what it takes to get your horse loped. You and your trainer have done it dozens of times. You know, think about what you're gonna get on your horse as far as boots or polo wraps. When you're out there loping your horse, generally you've got your horse's tail tied up or braided so it doesn't get in the way and get tore up. You're gonna remember to make sure that you've got all that stuff ready before you go into the show pen. Get your horse significantly loped down enough. Not too much and not enough. You wanna be just right. So you really need to practice this at home and get your horse, ride your horse a lot. Get to know where your horse is ready to show. You wanna be able to come to this show arena, get in the loping pen when you need to, and get your horse ready to go to the herd and work a cow for the judge. The next thing to do is especially if you don't have your normal trainer with you, you kind of need to look around, and this particular show has got lots of help. So you want to get you some good help lined up. Talk to them a couple classes before. Are you going to be around during the 50,000 amateur class? You want to be able to get them lined up and kind of know where you're going to want them to help you at, whether you're going to want them to hold herd for you or turn back. And when you get ready, start listening to the announcer. It's a good idea to keep your horse moving till just a horse or so before you walk to the herd. That means you're gonna have to get somebody looking at those cattle for you, depending on where you drew up. If you're drawing up early, if it's a rerun class, you know whether they're gonna be settling the cattle before you go, or if it's a fresh cattle class. Depends on what part of the country you're standing in as to what that 50,000 amateur class is. So you want to get somebody that's going to keep an eye on those cattle for you, preferably one of the guys that you've got hired. And remember that word, hired. We're going to come back to that in a minute. You want one of those guys that you've got hired as herd holders. They're going to be the ones that you really want back there keeping an eye on those cattle. So you may have gotten your 2 herd holders hired and you've got your 2 turnback guys hired. One of those herd holders, if not both of them, is going to be kind of keeping an eye on the cattle for you. So they'll know what you should and what you shouldn't cut. So now's the time for you to walk the herd. You listen for the announcer. That announcer is going to call your name, that you're next up. Now's the time to get over there and unbraid your horse's tail. Make sure your saddle is cinched up right where you need it to be, and you're ready. You've got your leggings on, you've got your hat on, you've got your uniform, long sleeve shirt, complete Western attire. There's no exceptions for that in NCHA rules. So make sure you've got yourself in order, you've got your horse prepared, and you've got your help hired, both ends of the herd. Now you're gonna get ready to walk to the herd. Whatever you do, what you do at home, that's what you need to do. So now you're gonna walk to the herd, you're talking to your guys about the cattle that you're gonna cut, and you're gonna put what you know to show in front of the judge. Now I mentioned hired earlier, remember your turnback help? These guys haul their turnback horses up here. They've got to stall them, they got to feed them. These are guys that are up here, and this is what they do for a living. So don't forget, if you win a check, go out there and tip your turnback guys. It's kind of like going to a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant a few times and you don't tip the waitress, don't gripe about your food. Now, well, I hope you've got a little more insight on what you need to do and how you need to survive if you have to go to a cutting by yourself without your trainer. Ideally, you want to go to a cutting with your trainer, but you can get kind of complacent about everything that your trainer and your trainer's team does for you as an amateur. In order to succeed in this sport, you need to be able to be a little self-sufficient. Now, while we were in Hamilton, we got to point the cameras at the non-pro class, and some of the finest showmen in the non-pro division in the NCHA were there at that cutting in Hamilton, Texas. Let's take a look at it.
Hi, this is Jody Gray from Cool, California, and Cuttin' Up will be right back after these messages.
Hi, I am Kathy Reiserfoot. My husband Jonathan and I have insured with Roger Peters Livestock for over 30 years. Our most recent issue was I was showing our mare. We were sitting fourth in the world and she tore a suspensory. Our insurance coverage is the reason we were able to continue on with Lola. And I so appreciate Roger Peters Livestock Insurance.
Symbiont helps us reduce, if not eliminate, our worries on EHV1, E. coli, Salmonella, Staph, Listeria, and H1N1. You can't ask for much more than that.
I'm Deborah Flashman from Rancho Marietta, California. Welcome back to Cuttin' Up.
Well, I hope you all found that as exciting as I did, watching some of the top non-pros in the NCHA compete there in Hamilton, Texas. I want to say a big thank you to Farm and Ranch TV. Remember, go to farmandranch.tv. These runs that you saw from Hamilton this week here, you can go to Farm and Ranch TV and see the full runs. We didn't have to condense them down for time. It's stretched out completely, the 2.5 minute runs plus a little time as they're walking to and from the herd. Remember to go to www.farmandranch.tv. You can see what all the programming is there at your fingers. Thanks again for joining us this week. Be sure and join us right here next week. We'll be right here cutting up.
This is not the same. If you can't cut it, then get out the ring. Stay behind the gate if you can't stand the flame. Let someone in there